Hello guys, hope you're doing well. Welcome to Dubai and Arabian Ranches. I thought I'd do a few more YouTube videos for you guys. A lot of questions coming in that we have on our different social medias, and in the bid to create more long form content for you guys and give you more insight to what I do, my life out here, some of the things I get up to, but also a little more insight behind the scenes on business side of things and how we run things. A few questions came in over the week regarding culture, effective communication, and I thought I'd give you a little bit more insight into like the standard operating procedures that we run inside JG Physique and JG Consultancy, and how we actually manage those things moving forward. The massive thing for us and what we've done in creating a 7-figure online health and fitness business has been because of the relentless SOPs that we have in place, standard operating procedures, and then having effective and quick communication systems across line managements, staff, and everything else of high expectations and standards that we hold people account to. The reality of it is having a proven clockwork system that generates a certain amount of revenue, and then it's duplicating and scaling it. Now, ultimately, the way that you damage that is by not having effective and efficient communication systems, and there's breaks in the channel, breaks in the bottlenecks inside that supply chain or that conveyor belt as such. So that's why really effective management, really effective, clear communication channels, expectations, KPIs, standard operating procedures. You have to be obsessive. You have to be relentless in ultimately how you manage those moving forward. So I'm going to do a few more series of videos and everything else to give you guys an insight. But, I mean, quite frankly, the way of everyone at the moment. So I'm going to get some more videos up now. Big question I consistently see from our followers, our network, even our clients is how do you create massive impact and create a long-lasting culture inside your organization? Now, obviously, you guys know with what we've done, we have numerous staff across all our organizations. And for us to have effective, success and results with ultimately our in-house team, it's all culture. And it's very, very hard to do inside an online health and fitness business or online consultancy business. Online business in general, it's hard to create culture. But as we've grown through the years, as me personally and my own journey have grown through the years, you realize my position had changed from being coach to consultant to now managing people. And I'm in the business of managing people, business of people, and understanding them and how to get the best out of them, how to support them, how to incentivize them, how to get them to show up and reach their true potential, and ultimately how to ultimately make their duty simple, easy to comprehend and execute. And the more we can do that, the more lean, the more efficient we become, the less churn we ultimately create. And look, you can't get away with it to some degree. It inevitably does happen, but we want to minimize the churn as much as possible. We want to minimize the damage and maximize the return, the reward, and ultimately the quality results that we generate. So culture is huge. And ultimately, I've had to only reinvent myself constantly when you fail. And it's the failing forward that ultimately enables you to create new systems, create new SOPs, create new frameworks that prevent you from getting into the same traps again and again from what you see with staff. It's motivating them to a certain degree, but also incentivizing them where they ultimately feel part of something bigger here, where they're not just clocking in and clocking out. That culture we really try to get away from massively. But keep the questions coming in. I do love answering these questions. Hopefully it gives you a little insight to where I hang out as well. Guys, final video for you today, and it's all about the harsh reality of entrepreneurship. Okay, so many people get into growing their own online health and fitness business or their own online company in any way because of ultimately the benefits that can ultimately come from it: saving your time, scaling your time, making a lot more revenue than you would typically in a 9-to-5. There's so many benefits from it, but people don't understand it's a long-term game. People who come in here to get rich quick, these are the individuals that are in and out, and ultimately you never hear from them ever again in years to come. My philosophy has always been that I'm always going to be here at the end of the day. In years to come, I'll still be here. So I've been doing this for nearly over 10 years now. And I joke with our clients all around the world. I say, I'm a 9-year overnight success. It takes time. And that's where people don't have the patience to clock in year after year. And sometimes you won't get a record month, and sometimes you won't get a record year. And unfortunately, the reality is that it's never linear. But remember, you've got to understand regarding entrepreneurship and business is that ultimately your business is a means to an end. It's to create ultimately the opportunity and access to invest in asset, real estate, or whatever that is for it to work for you in years to come. And my mindset and perspective in business has massively, massively changed over the years, where I used to define success with having $1 million plus in the bank account at any given time. How foolish I was then. But for me to reinvent myself and understand that ultimately getting it into asset, getting it into ways that ultimately I can create financial freedom and true headspace and peace in understanding that wealth management and what to do with it. I've constantly reinvented myself over the last 10 years to get into the position and luxury position that we're in right now, which I'm very lucky. But I don't say I'm very lucky. I work my fucking ass off every single day, and I'm prepared to go off grid. I'm prepared to sacrifice and delay the gratification for the long-term gain. And not many people are willing to do that. And that's my biggest thing, that you've ultimately got to become obsessive in what you do for you to exceed the competition and survive. That's the reality of what we're dealing with here. Everyone's in a pond. You're all fish in a pond. You're all fighting over space in the pond, market share, right? And ultimately, you're prepared. You've got to be prepared to ultimately get creative and ultimately how you can eat the smaller fish to ultimately take more space moving forward. Anyway, I'm going to rant on here. Hopefully that makes sense. Give you a little bit of insight into ultimately what we've done and ultimately how my perspective's changed, and ultimately enabling yourself to succeed in years to come, not just now, which is the really key thing.